If you want some quick hacks to make you instantly improve on your designs, then you've come to the right place. Starting with this design right here, when you look at it, it looks alright and it seems nothing is wrong, but there is something wrong and we can improve that. Now let's do that. Now the important thing is that in design, when you are looking at something, if everything is big and large on the on your page, nothing is going to stand out and it's going to end up confusing the viewer. So what you can do is pick a dominant focal point. So that can be your text. So the text can be very like the one I've done right here. The text can be very large, or if it's an image, you can use an image as your main focal points of your design so that it is going to guide your viewer through your design. So whenever they look at your design, they will not get confused about whatever they are looking at. Just like we've done here in my example with the text, you can do that exactly with any other thing, whatever you want to use as your focal point, which is something that is very big that will bring people in. So when you look at this right here, you are now going to read this. So that's the first thing you are going to read, and then the viewer is going to see it first, and then the next thing is that, and then the next thing now on this, and then the last thing what you actually want to tell them. Now this is hierarchy. This is what we call hierarchy in design. Now once you do that, the rest of the details can be used to guide the viewer, just like I've demonstrated right here. The next one is using color to communicate. Let's take a look at this design right here. Now if you look at this design, immediately you see it grabs your attention and you know something is wrong, but you can't really pinpoint what you are looking at because the color is everywhere. The color is just everywhere and it's confusing. Now let's fix that and then check the difference. Now you can see from this comparison, the first design with a bunch of colors was a bit confusing and honestly just bad. But after fixing it, you can see that we have been able to effectively communicate whatever we want to communicate just by switching a lot of things and changing some colors. Here is the trick to it. Limit yourself to at least 2 colors. Even if you are going above 2 colors, then you can use what we call the 60-30-10 rule, which is 60% of your color is going to be your dominant color. Now 30% is going to be your supporting color, and then the 10%, which is mostly used for call to actions. In this case, when you look at this design right here, you can see we have used that color to actually highlight the locations. That is what we want people to see, and we have been able to do that. So this is how you use colors to improve your designs. Avoid using too many colors in your designs and you would actually see how better they become. Fix your typography. Let's look at this design right here. You can see the text or the typography that is used, especially the main heading, is not actually serving the design right, and it's just making it very hard to communicate. Now let's fix that. You can tell just by looking at it side by side, we are able to make the design better by just changing a few things. You see, typography is very important when you are communicating with design. Just like colors, fonts also communicate differently depending on how and where they are used. Stick to 2 typefaces maximum, and that means you stick to only 2 fonts if you can. Stick to two fonts. Now 1 font can be the header, just like I've done in the design right here. You can use that large font and an expressive font, something that would communicate what you want to communicate. You can use it as your header, and then you use the other font from that too. You use the other font as your text or the other details that comes, just like this design right here. Now if you want to emphasize on something, you can just increase it from regular. If it's on regular, you can increase the weight from regular to bold, and you are going to notice it's going to make the whole thing bold, just like on this design right here. Now if I zoom in on this red carpet, I want people to be able to see the time. So what we are going to do is not change the time, but actually just change the weight of the font from bold or from regular to bold, and you can see it solves our problem. And when you look at this whole design, you are not going to see a bunch of text just flying away. We are actually sticking to two fonts, and it makes the design very uniform and communicates effectively, which is the main goal of our design. So rely on the font ways rather than just choosing different font. That one is just bad and is actually not going to improve on your designs. Now, once you do all these three things that I've mentioned, you are going to notice an instant change in your designs. Now, this is a bonus tip I always tell designers, even those who are experienced, always feed your eyes with new things. Go on websites like Cosmos, Pinterest, Instagram. Just feed your eyes for good designs. That is going to improve your taste, and you can now tell between what is nice design and what is not a good design, so that even when you are coming up with ideas, it is going to be very easy to come up with the right ideas, and you are just generally going to notice you have this good taste for good design. So this is it, guys. Try it out and you would instantly notice how your designs are going to get better. Let me know in the comments what you want to improve on, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.